All right, hey guys, welcome to the next episode of the Glow Collective. I'm your host, Dr. V, and today we have nurse injector Kimber Arnold. So Nurse Kimber is a master aesthetic injector. She is incredible. She is a national injectable trainer for Geneva Medical. She's a TikTok star and a former professional level dancer. She's trained many of the top plastic surgeons and dermatologists in the country. And on today's episode, Kimber comes on and we talk about how she masterfully balances two demanding careers with family, traveling, with fitness, and also having her own business. And she's just an absolute rock star, and it was a pleasure to have her on. So get ready for today's episode. It's going to be amazing, and get ready to unleash your glow. All right, guys, so we have Kimber here today.
Hi.
So, Kimber, to start off with, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you into aesthetics?
Sure. So my name is Kimber. I actually grew up in a fairly small town in Illinois. Long story short, ended up in Ohio, age 20. I was married to my first husband, who I endearingly refer to as my husband, and had already had 2 children. I decided that I needed to go to school, have a secondary education to be able to fall back on and be able to provide for my 2 kids that I had with him. So I went to nursing school. And yeah.
So how old were you when you went to nursing school?
I was 27 years old. Mm-hmm. I went to nursing school, and then as fate would have it, I ended up as a single mom with 2 beautiful little girls. So I'm very glad that I did. Yeah. And I'm happily married now to who I refer to as my forever husband, Tyler, and now have 3 beautiful daughters. But yes, I did go to nursing school, and I did depend on that at that time to take care of my 2 little girls that I was, in charge of supporting and caring for. But I worked in the nursing home venue for a few years, and then in some sort of serendipitous way just ended up in aesthetics, and it was very meant to be. And going on 9 or 10 years ago, I can't even remember. It's been so long. It's just where I'm supposed to be professionally.
Yeah. So when you say serendipitous, can you tell
elaborate?
Yeah.
So believe it or not, my husband, who is now a high school principal, many years ago he was a high school teacher, and he was replacing a gentleman in his classroom that was retiring in the Columbus area. This gentleman was married to a lovely esthetician named Kim, and she knew that the practice that she worked for was looking for a new nurse injector. They had been in the interview process, hadn't really found the right person. I think it really does take a very specific type of personality to be a nurse injector.
Yeah.
And long story short, he kind of connected myself to this practice via my husband, and a couple interviews later, they're like, you're perfect for this. I didn't even know nurses could do Botox and fillers in Ohio. Everything has gone well since, and I took to it like a fish to water for some reason, like Beethoven to the piano, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, so you're amazing at what you do.
Thank you very much.
So you had no idea about doing aesthetics.
Nothing.
And, I think as you said, it takes a special personality to be a nurse injector. I know many of our glow getters listening, many of them want to be in aesthetics. Uh-huh. So what advice would you give for someone who's listening? Maybe they're a nurse, maybe they're in school.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would maybe find somebody to mentor you, or perhaps somebody precept with, or even just shadow for a day to make sure that this is something that you want to do. Mm-hmm. And then, it does, I think, take a certain amount of luck and, knowing somebody who knows somebody, because I don't know what the percentages are, but
it's competitive.
It's competitive. And I don't know, out of 100% of nurses, maybe less than 1% become nurse injectors.
Yeah.
These skills aren't taught in college. They're actually on-the-job training.
Yeah.
That just require a nursing license. And I would review your state's requirements legally to do it, because it differs state to state.
Yeah.
For instance, Ohio will allow any LPN or RN to do cosmetic injections under the direct supervision order of a medical doctor or DO.
So when you say like personality, what personality traits?
You need to be outgoing. Think about somebody that is going to get their hair done, for instance, or they're going to try a new color or get a new cut. You want to, not fear your hairstylist, or you want to trust them to cut your hair. Now, take that and multiply it tenfold and have somebody injecting a botulinum toxin into your forehead lines. It needs to be somebody that you build a rapport with, somebody that's able to do that. I think to connect with people, personally, and to build a trust and a rapport with. And I think it also takes a certain amount of artistry that perhaps not every nurse has simply for going to nursing school and understanding the science behind it. But it does take an amount of artistry. It takes a good eye. It takes an eye for symmetry, an eye for beauty, an eye for, I think, elegance. It takes all of those things.
Yeah, I love that. And I think whether, you're a nurse, you're an MD, or an NP or PA. Yes. It's just regardless of, yes, you have to have the skill set and yes, know the anatomy, but then it's personality.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's connecting with your patient, right? And yes, like have trust. And because we're trusting, right, our face.
We're trusting our face to this person standing there holding a needle, 10 millimeters away from our eye.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to have a kind, trusting person, maybe with a good bedside manner, but also, with, I don't know, just an eye for...
Just beauty.
Just an eye for beauty, yeah. I was trying to think of a more medical term, but you nailed it. An eye for beauty.
That's true. So is there anything you would do differently? Let's say go back 9-10 years when you first started injecting to now?
I don't think so. I don't have any regrets. I started out very, very sensitive to a lot of things, and I think I've grown from that. But if I didn't have that sensitive side to me, I don't think I'd be true to who I am.
How do you think that sensitivity has worked for you and maybe has been a challenge for you?
I think it's a challenge for me because this is an industry where there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of promotion and advertising, let's say on social media, for instance, and you put yourself out there, you try to make a TikTok or a fun Instagram post, and if it's even a modicum of popularity in your page, you will be attacked. You will be attacked and people will be ruthless, and you have to just learn to not take that too personally.
So how do you do that?
At first I think it's hard, and then you really just develop a thick skin. You realize you want to stop and think, what is this person that has no photos up, who's not putting themselves out there?
Yeah.
What is making them attack other people? They must be really sad in their life.
Yeah.
That's honestly how I get past it. And then you hit the block button and the delete button, and you just move on with your day. Because most people will be reasonable. Yeah. And most people, if they find something that's not their cup of tea, they'll keep scrolling. But there's always going to be that one troll, unfortunately, who just sets out to ruin somebody's day. And I really just try to remember what's making them lash out at other people irrationally like this.
That's true. And it's easier to say something mean or attack someone behind your screen than verbalize it, right? Face to face.
100%. Yeah, because 100% of the time it's somebody behind a graphic that's their profile picture, or, a username that's just a hodgepodge of numbers. Yeah, that's or true. Something like that.
That's true.
So, getting over that sensitivity, I think, is a big part of it.
And then how do you find, with sensitivity within the workplace? Do you find that you're sensitive in the workplace?
I do. Yeah. I think that's just how God made me.
I'm a sensitive soul too. So I
think I'm afraid of my shadow. And if somebody, I think I'm an anxious person by nature, and I'll overthink things. Yeah. Did they look at me different today? Oh, they don't like me anymore. It must be something I said. And I'll go home and I'll overthink it.
Yeah. But you're not right. We all do that. Yes. And I never knew that I'll use the word anxiety. I never knew that I was anxious or had anxiety until recently. And you're like, yes, that is actually a worrisome thought where you go through these loops.
100%. Yeah. And I'm so glad that more people are opening up about it nowadays.
Yeah.
Where it's no longer considered taboo.
Right. We all have things that we're self-conscious about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as sensitivity in the workplace, I'm very blessed at this point in my career that I work in a place where, it's just a group of professionals and individuals who truly do support each other.
Yeah.
And have one another's backs. But I would be lying if I have said that it's been like that in every job I've had up until this point. And those bullies, I should say, that you have experienced or I have experienced prior to this job, they just make you grow as a person. I will not name names, but let me start. When I first started injecting, I worked with the worst bully. I had almost quit many, many times. And finally, this person was actually terminated, finally, from the job 2 years later. But I remember the things that I had to deal with. I said, I will never treat a new injector, a new nurse, or an up-and-coming injector, somebody who aspires to be, in the aesthetic industry like that. And I've stood by that, and I haven't. We have a beautiful young nurse here at Cincinnati Plastic Surgery named Stephanie that I kind of took under my wing 2 years ago. And I just wish that I had had somebody like
you
myself that treated me that way that I have treated Stephanie, because she is a very lovely person. She has a natural God-given talent. I am not, I'm not worried that she's going to take my spot, and I'm not, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, you're not insecure.
I'm not insecure. Yeah. I'm not threatened by her.
Yeah.
Because if Dr. Martin wins, we all win.
But how do we start cultivating that mentality?
As a woman, yeah. Because I had the opposite of that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I said I will never treat anybody like that, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And I feel like we as a practice have grown together.
Yeah.
You want to straighten another woman's crown instead of knocking it off.
That's very true.
Yeah, I think that there's been learning curves along the way, but those hard times always really do have a silver lining.
Yeah.
So that you don't make those mistakes with other people.
Yeah.
And you grow from them.
That's very true.
Yes.
And I think it's, you work with all women, right?
Yeah.
And so there's always things that come up within, just with girls.
Sure. Of course. Yes.
And so how do you overcome some of the competition and things like that. But I think if you come from a place of love and you want to just treat someone else like how you want to be treated, then it's easy.
You know what? If everybody just adhered to those principles, treat others as you would want to be treated, the world would just have no issues. I'm telling you. But we need to start viewing women as friends and as
someone to learn something from.
There's not a woman here at Cincinnati Plastic Surgery that I haven't learned something from. I don't know everything.
Yeah.
They're not competition.
Right.
They're allies.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have them all in my life.
Yeah.
You can learn something from everybody. I learn stuff from providers and nurses and estheticians and medical assistants in my travels around, the country that I do for my job all the time. Yeah. I don't know everything. And I never will. Dr.V, you're a board-certified derm. Do you know everything?
No.
Right? And you're brilliant by all...
Yeah.
By paper, by societal expectations.
Training. Yeah, by training.
By training.
Yeah.
By degrees.
Yeah.
But I think it's dangerous to assume you know everything.
Oh, absolutely. And there's always a student. Always a student.
Always a student. Well, Dr. V, do you remember a few months ago I had developed some, pruritus or redness or rash, and I had texted you about it? So I asked my boss, Dr. Mern, who is a brilliant plastic surgeon, a gifted and brilliant plastic surgeon. He's like, I don't know. Maybe you should text Dr. V. Even he doesn't assume he knows everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's been doing plastic surgery for decades.
Yeah.
He's not a dermatologist.
True.
So he, at that point, basically admitted that you knew more about, the issue that I was having than him. And steroid cream later, I was suggested. I was cleared up.
That's true. So tell us about, you travel so you do a few different things.
I do a few different things, yeah.
So why don't you share, so you inject Cincinnati Plastic Surgery a few days a week.
Yep.
And then in your off time, what do you do?
So in my off time, I actually have my own LLC. It's called ToxFox LLC. and I do trainings and consulting for various plastic surgery offices, dermatology offices, and med spas around the country, primarily for my favorite medical company. It's called Geneva Medical, who subcontracts me. I'm a contracted trainer with them, and I train people how to do Bellafill, which is a biostimulatory filler. And I train them how to do Plasma IQ. It's a plasma pen, and I train them how to do silhouette and Insta-Lift threads. And I love all three of those.
Yeah, so we have Bellafill and Insta-Lift, so certainly love those. Bellafill, yeah, one of my favorite fillers.
By far my favorite filler.
Yeah, it was actually after I came here and I saw you injecting, I was like, all right, yeah, have to bring on Bellafill.
Life-changing filler.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, guys, I want to take a quick minute to give a shout out to our sponsor, Prolinium. So Prolinium is the maker of two of my absolute favorite fillers, Revenus Versa and Revenus Lips. Now, these two fillers are incredible because they have the highest concentration of hyaluronic acid, which is a magical little molecule that is naturally produced in your body and helps keep your tissues hydrated and healthy. Now, both of these fillers are loaded with this molecule, and the high concentration means that Revenus produces long-lasting, beautiful results that will always look completely natural while keeping your skin and lips healthy and hydrated. Now, Revenus Versa is one of the newer FDA-approved HA injectables used to treat mild to severe facial wrinkles and folds, such as those smile lines around the mouth. It's one of the best ways to take years off your appearance and help you smile with total confidence. It is hands down my favorite and go-to HA filler. If you've been thinking about improving those smile lines and refreshing your look, then you've got to try Versa. Use promo code LIPS to receive 10% off your first treatment with me, or find a local Revenus provider near you.
So what do you find, after going around and seeing all these different practices, seeing different providers, are there similarities that you see in the different clinic spaces that you go into?
Yeah, absolutely. So the common denominator for every single clinic is they want to be successful. They want to move the product that they have, and I have yet to come across one that doesn't want to have happy clients.
Yeah.
Happy patients and happy clients. So that's the great common denominator. And of course there's things and products and idiosyncrasies that set them each apart, but they're all in this for the right reason, just like I think we are.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So what's your favorite thing about traveling around then?
I like meeting the different practices. I like going to different areas and getting to know their background, and I like learning from them as well.
Yeah. Everyone does things a little differently.
Everybody does things a little different. I remember I went to Fort Wayne once with you, and you bent the cannula in the lower face down by it's called the pre-gel sulcus. Basically, it's the lower face, and I thought that was the smartest thing I've ever seen. And I do it to this day.
Yeah.
And I teach other people how to do it. But
yeah, and I picked that. Some other training or something.
We all learn from one another.
And then it's just sharing.
Right? Yeah. If I'm their trainer, let's say for Bellafill, and then I get to watch them kill it over social media and through, just building friendships and cultivating relationships with these different offices, it makes me feel great.
Well, yeah.
Because I knew that somehow I'm a small part of that. So I would say that that's probably the best.
And when learning aesthetics or just anything, but especially within aesthetics, when you're first starting out, you have to build that confidence, right? And so having someone who's been doing it for years come in, it can be, you can feel cautious or...
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I love that.
Good.
So, all right. So tell us a little bit about outside the office and when you're not traveling, what do you like to do?
Oh my goodness. Well, I am married to the love of my life. His name is Tyler Arnold. He is a handsome Colombian, brilliant father, husband, son, PhD, high school principal. I don't deserve him, but somehow I was lucky enough to trick him into marrying me. We have 3 gorgeous daughters that we raised together. 2 are from my first marriage with my husband, who he and I are actually great friends. He's friends with the whole family. We have Antonia. She's 17 years old. She's a senior in high school. And then there's Brooklyn. She is 14 years old. She's a freshman in high school. And then Tyler and I together had Santana. She's 9 years old, and she's in 4th grade.
And she's the curliest little curls.
She's the curliest little curls, and she is a spitting image of her father. And they are the loves of my life, my greatest accomplishment. The best thing I've ever done was have those 3 girls.
Oh, I love that.
Hands down. Yeah, and they take up most of our time,
Yeah.
as you can imagine. And if with a little bit of time, that I have left with the fumes, I do like to practice ballet bar every day.
Yeah.
I like to go running. I'd really like to sit here and pretend I'm a lot more interesting, but that
That is interesting, though.
pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
So how do you balance, with, I think all of us, especially now, trying to get to work-life balance,
Sure.
having a family? What are things that you do to come back easily, or when you are, especially having your own LLC, right?
Absolutely.
There's a lot going on in your mind.
Yeah, it's, you know what, it's okay to have help, is what I've realized. I have childcare. I have a supportive family that helps me out, and that's wonderful. I have supportive friends and family. I have mature, beautiful, understanding children that have been raised to, understand like my mom works. Moms are important. Their job is important. It's a 24-hour-a-day job.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're working in the home or you're working outside of the home. If you're taking care of your children, it's a 24-hour-a-day job.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets hard and you experience that mom guilt. Unfortunately, should I be home? And then I tried being a stay-at-home mother at one point. And then
Did you really?
I did when we first moved to Cincinnati. We'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that.
Okay, we pinned it.
But then when I was a stay-at-home mom, I felt guilty, like I should be out working. I have this talent that I'm not utilizing. My children are in school all day, and I'm sitting here taking naps. And it really was like that. And vacuuming, it didn't feel right for me. And I will tell you what, being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job there is. I have so much respect for stay-at-home mothers. It is the most thankless, underappreciated job. It's 24 hours a day.
Job.
It is a demanding job. Tried that.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. I think I'm a really outgoing person. I like to smile at people. I like to be out and about. I like to work and then come home at night, and
Yeah.
it's just who I am. And I think that whatever works for your family is what works for your family.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I love, and that's what I really admire and respect is you're doing all these things, you're traveling, you're super successful at work with your family, and maybe it's not the most conventional,
Sure,
but it works for you. And I love that, because I'm also not the most conventional.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're being authentic to you.
I'm
right?
being authentic to me, and I think it's hardest for the 9-year-old. Mommy's gone 1 or 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
Once in a blue moon, 3 nights a week. It's hard. I prefer to be home at night, but this job requires a lot of travel.
Yeah.
So it's hardest for her. But for the teenagers, they'll tell me that their friends are following me on Instagram, and they look at my story and they're like, dude, your mom's in Manhattan sipping champagne at the Rainbow Room. What does she do? Why is she in Manhattan again? So they think it's pretty cool, and they're really proud of me.
Yeah.
But it's just a balance. It's finding the balance that works for your family and going with it.
Yeah.
And then, I can't say it enough, support other women. Support other moms and what works for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
One of my biggest pet peeves is being asked, who watches your children while you work?
Oh.
And I'm happy to tell them, well, I don't exactly leave, snacks and newspaper out for them. I have full-time, round-the-clock childcare, of course.
Yeah.
They're very well cared for, and would you ask a father that?
Right.
Probably not. Nobody asks my husband that.
Yeah.
Who watches his kids while he works.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I think is even, that's what makes it so incredible. What makes you do so incredible, right?
Right.
Is that you're doing it, and you're doing everything with your utmost attention.
Uh-huh.
And it takes a special person to do that.
I think so. Yeah. It takes a person who, can sleep 4 or 5 hours a night and then come home and crash for 15 hours a night on the weekend.
That is true. That is true. So, okay, well, let's talk a little bit about skincare.
Okay.
And maybe about your favorite treatments.
Okay.
So, if you had to pick,
Yes.
you could only get one treatment done for the rest of your life.
Oh.
And you can keep getting this done as many times, but you can only get one type of treatment.
Okay, so how broad is this? Is this fillers, or do I have to pick one filler?
One type.
Okay, so
Well, we'll do a category first.
okay, we'll do a category first. I'm going to go with filler. over wrinkle relaxers, which is basically Botox, Xeomin, things of that nature. So I say fillers because let's say you see somebody across the room. Let's say you're at your high school reunion. I don't know, a movie theater, a party, a happy hour. If you see somebody across the room, you're going to see kind of globally the outline, their face. You're going to see big areas of volume loss and hollowness. But you're probably not going to see a little line around their eye, right?
Yeah. Right.
So I'm going with fillers.
Okay. Yeah. Likewise. And I wouldn't have said that until I started using Bellafill.
I think we already know what my favorite filler is.
I know. So I agree. Yeah. And I think, when there's nothing that can replace volume except volume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I would rather have a few little expression lines around my eyes, which I do.
Yeah.
I keep them.
Yeah.
Than, a giant atrophy under my eyes or a big hollow in my temples that you could serve dip out of at a Super Bowl party. Those need to be filled.
Yes. That is
or a nasolabial fold that you could slide a credit card through. Like, no, thank you.
That is very
I'll take
true.
the crow's feet.
That's very true.
100% of the time.
So, and especially when, I agree. So so if you had to pick temples or smile lines, which one would you want to get corrected?
I would say temples.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like filling from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't like you making me pick because I really want both done.
All right, this is like
But if I had to choose, I'm going to pick temples. I think that your eyes naturally go to somebody else's eyes when you see somebody.
Yeah.
And temples, it's one of those things that I think a novice injector doesn't understand needs to be filled.
Yeah.
But I think that
it makes or breaks a face.
It makes or breaks a face. Yeah. The widest part of your face should be at the top. A youthful face is a triangle with that widest part at the top, not the bottom.
Yeah.
And over time, we get a redistribution of fat and everything and skin
sags
down on the lower face, so it only makes sense to fill it from the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good. Well, that's good. Because it would be awkward if we sat here and fought.
But this is why, no, temples or what? But this is why I love having this conversation because you're so artistic and artsy.
Thank you.
So you see that attention to detail, and I get it.
Yeah.
And then you also learn, right? I'm learning about you based off of what your preferences are.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, that would definitely be my preference if I had to choose. Fortunately, I don't.
Luckily you don't. Luckily you don't.
All right, you guys, and now for a little bit more from our sponsor, Prolinium. I'm even more excited with the launch of their newest filler, Revenus Lips. Did you know that lip rejuvenation is one of the most popular and requested minimally invasive procedure right now? You guys, as we age, our lips tend to look deflated and dry. For all of my glow getters curious about lip rejuvenation, we can create a subtle and naturally beautiful pout that will never look puffy or overdone. It's what I want to get in my own lips. And unlike other fillers, Revenus Lips is scientifically formulated to reduce swelling and produce long-lasting results. If you're curious to learn more, check out our Instagram page at DRVSKIN to see some of my amazing before and afters. Or you can find the local Revenus provider near you using the link in the show notes. And use promo code LIPS to receive 10% off your first treatment with me.
So let's go through because I know a lot of our glow getters, they are very curious. They are already up to date with their wrinkle relaxers, getting their filler done. Some of them are nervous or scared. So what would you say to a novice or someone who has not had anything done but is thinking about it? What would you say to them?
So I would say do your research. Go to a clinic where, read the reviews.
Yeah.
Read their credentials. Like, look them up and see before and afters. Yeah. Don't go for the cheapest price. I can't say that enough. Price is only an issue in the absence of value.
Let's say that again.
Price is only an issue in the absence of value.
Yeah.
Find somebody. It could be a physician. It could be a nurse. It could be a PA. It could be a derm. It could be a surgeon. It could be a whole wide variety of people, but definitely find somebody that this is what they do for a living.
Yeah.
They're not just dipping their toes in it, right? This is what they do.
And there's so many options to choose from.
So many options to choose from, right? The most important thing is a safe treatment.
Yeah.
The second most important thing is probably, are you happy with your treatment? But that's not as important as, is this a safe treatment?
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of people don't know the what the potential complications are with like filler, right?
Blindness.
Yeah.
Necrosis.
Yeah.
Go to somebody who intimately knows facial anatomy, and this is all they do for a living.
Yeah.
This is their specialty. And then I would say crawl before you walk. You don't have to dive into getting the whole face done in one day.
You don't have to do it all at one sitting.
Yeah, get a little Xeomin brow lift, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're inevitably addicted to that,
which most people are.
Yeah, and not afraid of it, try a little lip filler, right? Done judiciously placed and done in a very lovely and elegant manner. It's just going to add to your beauty. It's not going to look crazy.
Yeah.
And then, get that Bellafill, get your smile lines. Just do it little by little. Do it in stages.
So let's say, I think with Bellafill, people are nervous about, hey, this is long lasting. You can't take it out like your hyaluronic acid fillers.
Absolutely.
What do you say to the people that are just cautious about that?
Sure. My first reaction is, why on earth would you want to dissolve something that costs more per ounce than platinum? Why on earth would you want to dissolve something that you just invested money into?
Yeah.
You don't want to dissolve it. Yeah. You want something that's long lasting.
Yeah.
But what you do want to do is go to a provider that specializes in it.
Yeah.
You can get on Bellafill's website.
Yeah.
You can read Real Self reviews. Mm-hmm. You can find a Bella Diamond account where those are the top 1% of providers in the nation. You can have a consultation before you receive injection with a provider.
Which we encourage you to do.
Right.
And know what you're getting done.
Right. Yeah. It's a very innocuous injection. It's just, honestly, it's collagen.
Yeah. I love it just because you don't look overfilled or plump because it's not attracting all that water and making you swell.
100%.
And it just looks beautiful and natural.
It quite literally is the Snapchat Philip of injections. I am not getting paid to say this. I promise you guys. I've been injecting this magical product for years and years and years. I've done thousands of syringes. It's a Snapchat filter effect.
Yeah.
It's just a very subdued and natural and elegant filler.
Yeah.
It would be very difficult to overdo it, but of course, always go to a provider that has a lot of experience injecting it.
Yeah, that's true. And I always say it's a gift that keeps on giving. So it looks beautiful now, but then wait, right? In 6 months, a year.
Wait until your skin glows. The only time my skin has glowed as much as Bellafill makes it glow is when I was pregnant with my 3 children. So, I mean, if I don't know, we are replicating pregnancy glow. I don't know how, but really, anytime your skin reflects collagen growth, you're going to have improvement in your skin integrity.
So let's say you could not do fillers. Mm-hmm. What would be your go-to treatment then to help with volumization?
Volumization?
Mm-hmm. Or let's just say anti-aging.
I was going to say volumization. If I couldn't have fillers, I guess I would just have to start eating some pie, donuts.
Just pump it up.
I'm just going to have to get fat.
Yeah, that is true. The more weight we have.
So these fillers are, I'm going to have to keep it tight and right because fillers are available now. Okay, so what was the question?
So you can do let's say laser or with microneedling RF or, hydrofacial or something like that. Let's say, so if you had to pick something that's not injectable, what treatment would you want to do?
So that's a good one. First of all, so I'm an injectable lover. It's my career. But if you don't have healthy skin, if you don't have a healthy canvas, you need a healthy canvas. That's a hard one. So, honestly, medical grade skincare.
Yeah.
Before any of those, all of those to me are adjunct to the medical grade skincare. Mm-hmm. So,
which I love that you're saying that.
Yeah. Zio, Lumiere, those kind of things that you can buy out there. Again, I don't work for these companies. I just believe in it. I've mentioned before I have 3 daughters, a 9-year-old, 2 teenagers. This is what I say. Mm-hmm. If my daughters could go into Saks, Target, Nordstrom, any of these places, and they can buy their products, no questions asked, proactive, whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
Anything over the counter where they're not, requiring
like a physician license or
anything like that. It's not It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But it's not strong enough to change your skin.
Which is what I don't think people understand,
Yeah.
though,
You
right?
want something strong enough to change your skin.
Yeah.
It's changed mine.
Yeah. Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. I'm 42 years old.
Which you do not look 42.
Thank you. So I went to high school in the 90s, spent way too much time in the tanning bed. I am not proud of that. I wish I could take that time back. My children aren't allowed to. So as soon as I would say I would hit my late 20s, very early 30s, those insidious brown spots that can just go back to hell started appearing. It's my own fault.
Yeah.
And you're looking at me right now with no makeup. I don't have any
But
more.
it's beautiful.
Thank you. That's medical grade skincare.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't pretty for a while
Yeah.
getting rid of this. And it was a process. It took months and months and months and months
Yeah, it does.
for all of that, but dead, damaged skin to come off. I did IPL procedures, which I'll let Dr. V explain more eloquently than I ever could. 1% retin A, prescription hydroquinones, vitamin C, you name it. But I was invested in protecting my skin. And I will say, since I turned, I would say age 30, I don't know, until now, I do not even go to the mailbox without sunscreen.
Yeah.
365 days a year, I'm protecting my skin. But yeah, so just because of real life,
It's like what you do every day.
I
those
have
make the
seen
big
it
difference.
transform my skin. But if I was going to Saks and even buying a $200-$300 cream, it's probably not going to do anything to get rid of those brown spots.
Which is surprising.
And lighten it up. Yeah. But a cream for
Shocking.
$100,
Yeah.
you could do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not the fairy tale that it sounds like. Like, I was flaky. I was red for a while. But I tell you what, now I can put it on 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
And that's what I say, right? It's like, and if there's anything you do, it's like, yeah, don't invest in doing these more expensive procedures or laser resurfacing
Right.
if you're not going to wear sunscreen
Right.
and use use skincare.
Yeah.
Because yes, you're going to wipe the slate a little bit, but then
Sure.
it's going to go right back.
It's just going to go right back, right? Yeah. And then, I mean, I certainly respect your opinion, but would you say that SPF in your makeup is enough?
No.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a type, like one of my favorite, I'll say 2 of them. Okay. As I start thinking
We love
about-
sunscreen.
Yeah. But like Skin Better has these compacts. And so it's SPF 50. And
Good one.
Oh,
Yes.
it's amazing. And then Color Science has these brushes.
I love those.
brush-ons. And
Yes.
nowadays they're doing such a beautiful job, right, with making tinted SPF that goes on like makeup.
Yeah. Zio has one that's an SPF 30. Mm-hmm. That's
Is it like
actually
the
a primer.
primer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really
I put
good.
that. My husband laughs at me. And I mean, I'll put that. It'll be 10 below zero. I live in Ohio. Like, I can't go out there without sunscreen. I am not getting those brown spots again.
It's true. It's true.
I worked so hard to get rid of them over the years.
That is very true. Yep. So I think, and I usually say, look at your lotions that have SPF. If it's anything less than SPF 30, if it's SPF 15, it's not doing anything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what patients are like, oh, I have it in my SPF. So it's like, okay, what number? So I would say that.
Yeah. It's good stuff. We heart sunscreen.
Yes, we do love our sunscreens. All different types. Yeah.
The more sunscreen, the better.
True. Usually
Stocking stuffer ideas. Sunscreen.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like the mini samples.
Dr. V, can you imagine? You know how when you would go trick-or-treating when you were little, that house that had raisins? That house sucked. We're going to be the house that has sunscreen packets.
Yeah, literally. It's like, here you go.
We're going to skip our house
Here you go.
every year. Or the dentist's house that had toothbrushes.
Yeah, toothbrushes and floss.
I'm totally handing out sunscreen. Watch.
Yeah, right?
Just watch me.
And now for a message from one of our sponsors. This podcast is sponsored by Alive and Vivid Skincare featuring Bakuchiol Glow, their signature serum containing bakuchiol, a revolutionary plant-based retinol. It also contains cannabinoids, specifically CBD and CBG, as well as other botanicals to combat common signs of aging, including wrinkles, redness, and texture. This is also great for rosacea-prone or acne-prone skin, or those who cannot tolerate retinols and desire alternatives to their skincare. It is formulated with effective and cutting-edge ingredients for those who desire cleaner, medical-grade skincare. Visit drvskin.com/alivevividskincare to learn more and use the promo code BAKUGLOW to receive 10% off your first order. Visit the show links to find this information.
Let's see, next question. So you have 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. What do you do to get your heart rate up?
Cardio.
What do you do? What type of cardio?
So if I'm in the house, some jumping jacks, run up and down the stairs. We have a couple flights of stairs in our house. Or if I have time, run around the block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it, yeah.
It's
keep it easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quick
And I kept
easy.
that PG.
I see. Hey, anything goes.
Anything
right?
goes, yeah.
So 5 minutes, what do you do for a snack?
Apples and peanut butter.
Really?
Yum. Especially if it's
crunchy or
smooth, especially if it's a Jif. Yum. Yeah, definitely apples and peanut butter.
Okay, fair.
And a cup of coffee if I have time.
And do you put milk or creamer?
I like my coffee black. I'm kind of a purist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black coffe's good.
Black coffee's great, yeah.
All right, good. And then you have 5 minutes. What do you do to relax?
5 minutes to relax. I probably scroll through Instagram mindlessly. I would love to say something like I meditate.
Well, we're keeping it honest here.
Yeah, but no.
Hey, but we all do
I'll
it.
watch TikToks.
Yeah. We're just going to relax for a minute. We're on
Yeah, 4 hours later.
No. I'm like, oh, darn.
Kids are hungry.
So you have 5 minutes. What do you do for a quick skincare routine?
So 5 minutes. Okay, so I would definitely wash, exfoliate, tone, moisturize, and then sunscreen. I always end with sunscreen.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
What about nighttime?
Nighttime is a little more complicated. So to oversimplify it for the podcast.
No, we want to hear
because
every
there's certain
step.
days. Okay.
We want to hear what you do.
Right. Yeah. Right now it's wash, tone, exfoliate if it's Monday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Perfect. No, this is what we want to hear.
Yeah. And then I'm using Bright Alive right now. Mm-hmm. And then over that, I'm using, it's actually an 8% hydroquinone.
Okay.
That I'm prepping. I'm using to prep for a halo procedure that Dr.V is going to do on me after I've prepped enough for it. And then right now I'm doing that most nights. I've just started that 8% hydroquinone. And there's some kojic acid in it. And there's 0.2% tretinoin in it. And
It's
so far,
a really good compound.
yeah, it's such a great compound. I'm not reacting to it yet.
How many nights a week are you using it?
I've used it 3 nights in a row now.
Oh, perfect. You're
Yeah.
not getting any dryness?
I'm not getting any, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but keep in mind this, I'm a woman who has faithfully retinade my, that's a verb now.
But are you still using it? Right?
Yeah, retinade my skin for 10 years,
That's
right?
good. And are you still using your Retin-A now?
Yeah. So
That's really good.
I also have quite a few different retinays. I have a 0.5, I have a 0.1, different medical grade skincare brands. And then in the morning, I also add something called Daily Power Defense every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that. And I think, for when a lot of us listening, we all have our skincare routines, and some of us, right, either exfoliate too much, use a Retin-A too much, layer on too many, or just aren't right, or doing a lot of different steps.
Yeah.
And so I love just hearing, right, what different people are doing, because we all get into our own routine.
Yeah, we all do get into our own routine. And this is my fall routine, if you will.
Yeah.
And it changes, when if perhaps it's in the springtime or summertime. I like to get spray tans, for instance, in the summer because Lord knows I will not get sun. Lord knows I would not step in a tanning bed. Oh my gosh, the tanning bed is the devil.
I mean,
Never.
You do not get vitamin D.
Right.
You just get all the harmful and cancer and aging producing rays.
Nothing good about it. It should be illegal. Yeah, so this is basically my fall routine.
Okay.
It's almost fall, so let's go with it.
It is almost fall. Couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right. So you have, well, let's say you could travel anywhere. Mm-hmm. Where would you go?
So there's 2 places I'd like to go. It's my dream to go to Greece with my husband. And then my husband he was born in Bogota, Colombia. Mm-hmm. And he was actually adopted here in the United States. We'd like to go down to Colombia and see where he's from.
I love that.
Yeah.
How did you two meet?
We met through a mutual friend, believe it or not. It was Halloween 2009, and I was a 30-year-old single mom. He was a 23-year-old grad student. And I was visiting my best friend, Shirley, in Columbus, Ohio. Let me paint a little picture for you. So I lived up in Canton. He lived on the Earlham University campus in Indiana. So, you know, we didn't live in the same state, but we both met the same night at the same house in Columbus. And she told me, she said, oh, her little brother, she's like, my little brother, Pat, his friend Tyler is coming over. He's really hot. And then I always tease her about this, and Tyler, she said, he's from Cambodia. Wrong country, wrong continent. He's from Colombia. So I'm like, okay, big deal.
Don't be like, I heard you're from Cambodia.
Yeah. So I was expecting this like really good looking, you know, like Asian gentleman. And instead I met a really good looking, you know, Hispanic gentleman.
That is funny.
So sparks flew. First of all, he was the most beautiful man, still is, that I've ever seen in my life. And did not make any sense on paper, the two of us.
Why not? Let's hear it.
I mean, because he was in college. He was, you know, he's a former college football player. He was 23 years old. You know, I had 2 kids. One who, you know, even has like a pretty serious heart condition. And, you know, none of that fazed him. In my mind, he should have been dating like a co-ed on campus. And he fell in love with this single mom.
Fell in love with your heart and your soul.
Yes, he did. He did. And he fell in love with my children. And when he proposed, he actually proposed to my 2 children too.
Aww.
And me in front of my dad. Aww. Sweetest guy. But that's how we met. And we've been inseparable ever since.
Yeah, I love that. So can you give us some relationship tips?
Yeah, definitely. You know, date your husband, date your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, all those things. But also encourage them having their own hobbies and their own time. Tyler's, you've seen our home. He has his home gym. That is his happy place. I don't go there.
The most amazing home gym ever.
I encourage that.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He has, you know, a wife, 3 daughters. The dog is a girl. He needs his private time. I encourage that.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
And he encourages and uplifts me for the things that I need that nourish my soul. Like go shopping, go to Miami with your girlfriends for a weekend. You know, we trust one another. So I do think that to some degree is important in a relationship. An undeniable trust and love. And it's okay for them to have their own hobbies outside of you.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have hobbies together.
Yeah.
All of it.
So what hobbies do you guys share together?
So it sounds so cheesy, but nothing is more fun than laying in bed together, holding hands, binging Netflix together. We love that. New York City, Manhattan in particular, Lower Manhattan, even more particular, is our happy place.
Why is that?
We just love it. We love the energy. We love the diversity. We love the culture. We go there many times a year and just spend even overnight, a weekend, a long weekend, a few days together and just kind of breathe in the city. We'll go there and we won't even plan it. We'll get a trip. You know, we'll get a direct flight into LaGuardia and we figure it out when we get there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Spontaneity, right?
Yeah. We don't, you know, we land, we get off the terminal and we tell the cab driver, we're like, okay, drop us off at like a landmark in Midtown, Rockefeller Center, for instance. And we'll just start heading south. And
seriously?
Yeah. We'll just, because
that.
once we ended up in the West Village and we both got tattoos for each other. On a whim. So that's kind of our happy thing to do. It's New York City. Yeah. That's our place.
Because, you know, and I love that, right? Often we're so regimented, right? We have our routine, we have our structure, and we also like to have everything planned out.
Yeah.
So I just love that.
Yeah. I'm serious. Like no reservations. Well, I mean, we might have a hotel reservation, but we have no reservations to eat. We maybe didn't even buy anything or pack anything, I should say, fancy to wear.
Yeah.
You know, it's just our carry-on on our back. Got our running shoes on, depending on the weather, our coats, and we start walking, just soaking up the city. It's the best feeling.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah, definitely unique. So, yeah, I love that. All right, so then so what's your favorite cuisine?
Ooh, so I'm a pescatarian. You know what? I almost want to say Middle Eastern food.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Turkish.
Moroccan's really good.
Oh my gosh, I can't. There's so many.
Like
I
the
can't
spices.
decide. The spices. Have you ever had like tabbouleh?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
of course, there's, what's everybody? Hummus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
But,
grape
like,
leaves.
yes.
I would say that kind of food is probably my favorite cuisine.
Okay.
What about
really
you? And Indian.
I would say probably Thai food.
Oh my gosh, why did I
love
forget Thai? I sound so fat right now. I sound like all I do is eat. But yeah, all are good. Yes, Mexican.
Yeah. But definitely I would say that. Thai food's really good. And I like Middle Eastern.
Uh-huh.
Mexican's good, but I don't really go out and eat Mexican.
Yeah.
I don't do Indian unless it's like homemade.
Yeah. Did your family make a lot growing up?
Yes, and because my mom is Dominican and so not fully Indian, so she does her own like Indo-Dominican
Yum,
like,
now
fusion.
I'm hungry. Honestly, like Colombian plantains. Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That
Like
food is
fried
so
plantains.
Honestly, anything but American.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I love Thai food though. I love pad Thai.
Yeah.
I love tofu. I love on pad Thai.
We're just gonna pause the podcast
And just go eat.
Sorry guys, I'll be right back now.
We'll be right back. We need to go stuff our face.
That's funny. All right, so okay, last final questions.
I like these. I'm like learning more about myself. This is fun.
I'm learning a lot about you, right? Because we see each other in the context of social media, work, and and this is why I love these podcasts, is because it's literally just an opportunity to talk, and just get to know each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and share like things that light us up with others.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're all going through, right, our own journey in life.
100%.
And so part of it is just having that compassion and understanding to say, hey, I'm just here like you, figuring it out, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, well, maybe I'll figure out something from you along the way, or you'll learn something from me.
Well, I always learn something from you.
Likewise. So last couple questions here.
Okay.
What are a couple big mentors that have helped maybe shape the direction that you've gone in your life, or maybe when you're in aesthetics? What were some either mentors and also just people that in general that you look up to, whether you've met them or not?
Sure.
Just principles that just instill those principles that you live by today.
So the first two in aesthetics that I can think of are the two professionals that trained me on Bellafill. So I've created this career out of, teaching Bellafill and injecting it, and I really wouldn't have it without the principles that I learned from Wendy. She's an NP in North Carolina, and Dr. J.D. McCoy. He's a physician in Scottsdale, Arizona. That area, definitely Arizona. And he taught me most of the advanced techniques and a lot of things that I still use today. Of course, Dr. Martin. Dr. Martin is my boss now. He's a board-certified plastic surgeon. He's very gifted. He doesn't do a lot of injections, or really any. He delegates them to Stephanie and myself, but I learned a lot from him how you treat your staff. He would be embarrassed and he would never tell anybody these things, but when COVID happened and we had to shut down and we were closed, he paid his entire staff out of his pocket when he had nothing coming in. So they're a good family.
Yeah.
He has a lovely wife, and they're just great kids, and they're just wonderful people that care about other people. So I think that's one of the reasons I'm so loyal to him is just his kindness and his mentorship. It just means a lot. And his family means a lot to me, that when people are good to you, you're good to them. Yeah. So it's how to treat people. And I worked for this one lady in Columbus. Her name was Mary Beth. She was a great woman. I remember I was sick one day. This is so silly, but I was sick one day, and, I was afraid to call off work. I was very new there, something along those lines. And I was like shaking, like, oh my gosh, are they going to believe me? This, that. And she was something along the lines of, oh my gosh, your health is so much more important than, you coming into work today. Please stay home and please rest. Just little things like that stick with me. And I'm sure when we're done, recording this podcast, a million other people are going to come to mind. But there's one more I want to mention. Her name is Pat Altavilla. She is the CEO of Suniva. I've never seen anybody work so hard for what she believes in, and she believes in me. And she gave me a big opportunity that I wouldn't have otherwise had. And she means a lot to me, and she kind of sets the bar high for what I would like to achieve as a woman in business and in the aesthetic industry.
Yeah, yeah.
And you, Dr. V.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we just had Pat on a couple of weeks ago, and she is an incredible woman.
Yeah, very strong, capable woman.
Compassionate. And cares.
She cares about people.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that stood out. It's like, you think someone who's at the top or at a high level, that you lose that human connection. And that was something that like was her number one.
If I had an issue and I texted Pat on a Friday evening or something, this is a CEO of a medical company, I'd get a text back that's kind and, you're never bothersome to her or anything like that. Like, that's how you treat your employees.
Yeah.
That's how you treat other people, period.
Yeah, exactly. And then kind people are kind to other people.
Yeah, kind people are kind to other people. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Be kind.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's true. It's true. It's just simple principles that, well, we can try to live more along those lines, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this question, first off, I want to acknowledge you. I want to just thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And just to take time to share just your heart and your voice. And you have so many incredible gifts that you are actively sharing.
Thank you.
And it's really, inspiring to just connect with you and get to know you. Like you said, right? Put yourself out there to be vulnerable, but do it for a cause that you believe in and that you want to share.
Absolutely.
And others to also step into their calling, right? So, yeah, thank you for taking time to be here. And so with this next question, let's say you've reached the end of your days. You've lived a very long, full life. You've done everything you wanted to do. You've traveled. Your kids are grown up. They're successful. You have one gift that you get to leave. The gift can be anything. And you get to leave one gift for others to find. What would your one gift be?
Is this a tangible gift?
Either tangible and intangible. It can be anything.
Okay. Oh, that's a hard one, Dr. V.
Well, you can tell me a tangible and an intangible if you would like.
Okay. I want to leave kindness. I want people, I want people to remember me as being kind.
Yeah. I love that.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if all of this went away tomorrow, all of these blessings that I've experienced and all of this success and everything, I still have my family and I still have the way I treat other people.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know how you leave. Clearly that's intangible, but
well, yeah,
I wouldn't want to leave that lesson behind my loved ones. You know what? I'd like to see my my wedding site go down through the generations. That's my tangible one. I would like generations and generations later to be wearing my ring.
I love that. Yeah.
Whoever they fall in love with, I don't care who it is. As long as they're kind to my children and my future descendants.
Yeah.
If you will. That's what I want to leave for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to be buried with it.
And that's a beautiful gift, right? Beautiful. And I just love the simplicity of kindness and just making your loved ones feel loved and doing so through something like your ring.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So future direction for you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Next 5 to 10 years, I still plan to be injecting for Dr. Martin, always. Hopefully I've grown my company and I'd like to maybe do more speaking events and I'd like to mentor more up-and-coming injectors and just be their cheerleader.
Yeah.
And, watch my
And you literally are like a cheerleader.
I believe it or not. Would you have guessed? But no, yeah. And I still want to be helping people in this industry and I want to continue to work with my people. We have, a friend in common. I think you know who I'm talking about. And I always tell this person, I'm like, never forget who got you to the top when you're at the top.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be a champion for those people.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be loyal to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those are the people I still want to be
having
dinners with.
And
and hanging out with and making moves with in terms of business. And
Your tribe, right?
that's my tribe. That's my squad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still going to be those people. Yeah.
I love that. And I love the mentality, like when you were saying that, like an image came to mind, and it was when instead of climbing that ladder by yourself, but instead you are climbing the ladder, but you're pausing and you're giving a hand for someone to
100%.
climb up with you.
Yeah. Giving a hand up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So final question for you.
Okay.
What does unleash your glow mean to you?
Oh, just be authentic to who you are and own it.
Yeah.
Own your beauty. Own your education. Own your personality. Own your success.
Yeah.
Unleash it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't water it down. Don't dim your light for anybody else because they don't pay your light bill.
I like that.
Yes. Unleash your glow.
Yeah.
I like
No one pays your light bill.
Nobody pays your light bill, so don't dim your light for anybody.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you, Kimber. It's really been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, until the next episode. But before last final words, Kimber, where can we connect with you on social media?
TikTok, it's Queen Bee Kimber, and on Instagram, it is Cincinnati Talks Fox.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we'll have those linked up in the show notes, and definitely give her a follow. Her TikTok videos are amazing. They're hilarious, and they will crack you
And
up.
honestly, the ones with Dr. Martin, he's the star. He's Justin Timberlake. I'm the rest of NSYNC. He is the star.
Yeah.
I'm chopped liver.
All right, guys, until next time.
Bye.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the Glow Collective, I humbly invite you to take a conscious moment to keep this vision glowing. I would love for you to subscribe, rate, and leave us an honest review. And if this podcast resonates with you, share it with 3 or 4 of your family friends, tag me on Instagram at DRVSKIN, and let me know which words and messages really hit home for you. Let's get the message growing. And why? Because I really want you to glow. Our time is now, and this podcast is only made possible because of you, because I am called to give back to you and share these ideas, thoughts, and messages with all of you, my intrigued glow-getting listeners. We are high vibrational beings here to grow and feel. We are meant to create and perceive deeper experiences of connection and to ultimately enhance the level of love and joy in our relationships of our life. So this is a wrap to today's episode. I'm your host, Dr. V. Stay tuned for the upcoming episode of the Glow Collective, and let's live, love, and glow.